Hello and welcome back to Little Bits of History, a show where I tell little bits of history using history's littlest bits. Now, at the close of the 3rd century, the Roman Empire teetered on the brink of collapse. Civil war, economic turmoil, and foreign invasions had pushed it to the edge. But from this chaos rose a soldier from humble beginnings who would go on to stabilize the shaken Roman Empire and end the crisis of the 3rd century, Diocletian. Diocletian, who at this time was called Diocles, was the son of a scribe, or perhaps even a freedman senator named Anulinus. Not entirely sure. He rose through the military ranks under Aurelian and Probus, eventually becoming commander of the imperial cavalry serving under the Emperor Carus. In 284, following the death of Numerian, Diocles was proclaimed emperor by his troops and took the name Diocletianus. Diocletian's reign marked the end of the crisis of the 3rd century. He defeated his rival Carinus and began transforming the empire. Recognizing that Rome was much too vast for one man to rule alone, he appointed a co-emperor, Maximian, in 286. And then in 293, Diocletian launched a bold experiment, the Tetrarchy. The empire would now be ruled by 4 emperors, 2 senior Augustae and 2 junior Caesares. This system promised stability, order, and swift response to threats across the empire. Diocletian and his colleagues secured the empire's borders, defeating barbarian tribes in Europe and Sasanian Empire in the east. Diocletian's co-ruler Galerius even managed to capture the Persian capital Ctesiphon, but Diocletian's ambitions were not just military. He overhauled the empire's administration, separating civil and military power, standardizing taxation, and expanding the bureaucracy. His reforms laid the groundwork for a more sustainable empire. Not all of his reforms succeeded. His infamous edict on maximum prices, meant to curb inflation, failed miserably. But Diocletian's greatest controversy came not in economics, but religion, or more specifically, Christianity. On February 23, 303, Diocletian launched the Great Persecution, the last and most severe effort to suppress Christianity in Roman history. He destroyed the newly constructed church in Nicomedia, its scriptures burned, thousands of other Christians martyred. In fact, in Orthodox faith, this time is often known as the era of many martyrs. Yet the Christian faith endured, and soon it would rise far beyond what it was at this point. In 305, weak from illness and perhaps disillusioned with Rome due to the constant struggles for stability and order, of which at this point there was a lot, Diocletian did what no emperor had ever done. He abdicated. On May 1st, 305, he retired to a palace he built by the sea, in modern-day Split Croatia, where he famously tended his vegetable gardens in peace. Though his tetrarchy crumbled without him guiding the Augustae and Caesares, and Christianity would flourish under Constantine, Diocletian left his mark on Roman history and did save the empire from an early collapse.
Hello, my name is Ian. I'm the head writer here at Little Bits of History. The small stories you hear at the beginning are my words. I take a backseat when it comes down to the writing and editing for this show. However, it came to my attention in the editing production portion of the workflow that I did not have a recorded explanation of the coin. I happen to have a copy of this coin as well that was gifted to me by Jason, my co-star, and I wanted to explain it for you now. So, on the obverse side, we have a bust of Diocletian with his laureate, draped to the right. The script is in Latin, which reads Imp Diocletianus Aug, or Imperator Diocletianus Augustus, which means Supreme Commander is the word Imperator, and Diocletian Emperor is Augustus. The reverse side features Victory, winged, draped, walking left, holding a wreath in the right hand and a palm in the left hand. That's the typical coin design. Mine depicts something else. But the script in Latin is Victoria Aug, which means Victoria Augusti, or Victory for the Emperor, which was minted in Rome during the time of Diocletian's reign. They were minted from 285 to 295 and they were standard circulation coins in the value of a denarius. They were composed of silver and were shaped round and irregular due to the fact that they were hammered instead of stamped.